This is Jade, my new female coastal carpet. It's the first time she's ever been out on a branch. And I raised Chewy on a branch so he could get used to me without me forcing myself on him. But this is her first time out on the branch. Chewy, for a long time, I let him eat off of that branch, so he was in more of a natural position to strike and to drop down and wrap around it and eat it while he was coiled around it. Carpet pythons are semi-arboreals, which means they can live on the ground or in trees. And I found that most people that have nippy carpet pythons are the ones that are kept without a perch or something they can climb onto. And they're not eating in a natural position if they're eating off the ground versus being able to hang from something to strike and eat. But she seems to have calmed right down on her new branch. This first time she's been out on one. She's getting ready to shed, so she's dark. But she's adapting quite well. After I've had her out on this a few times, then I'll introduce her to feeding her while she's on it. And also, this is really nice. It's an easy way to take them out of the enclosure because they can climb on the branch without you reaching in and grabbing them. So it helps them feel more secure when they're being moved. So what I do is just put the branch down in, let the snake come up on the branch, lift the branch out, and just leave the snake on it and let her do what she wants to do. And that way eventually, like Chewy did, she'll come over to my hand, get on my hand, start crawling on my arm, and then get familiar with me. But this is Jade's first experience with being on a tree branch. And there's my hand. Now she's either going to get on it, avoid it, or bite it. But the important thing is here, I'm not forcing myself on her. She's coming to me out of free will, which means she doesn't consider me a threat. And that's where you want to be with baby snakes. You don't really want to threaten them and stress them out. Now she did this all on her own. She came right to me of free will, which means she no longer considers me a threat, which is a step forward when you're raising snakes. You don't want to stress them out and terrorize them or anything. And there you go. I've had her a week and she already trusts me enough to go from a branch onto my arm. Hi, pretty girl. And before I introduced her to the branch, all I had to do was open the top of the tank and she'd jump right for my face. And I've only had her a week, so this is a great amount of progress. This is just for you, Jeremy. I guess I did it sooner than later. I was concerned about her attitude, but she appears to be very calm. That's a pretty arm bracelet I've got. Yep, back to me again. So she's okay with touching me now. She knows I'm not going to harm her. Yeah, that a girl. Now I keep the branch in her tank where she is all the time when she's not out on it, and that way she can climb on it while she's in her enclosure. And she's familiar with it, so when she comes out, it's not a surprise to her. She's already used to it. So she knows that branch is up there, and that's a branch she gets on, and when she does, I'll bring her out on her branch and let her make her own choices as to whether or not she associates with a human being. Which right now she's making incredible progress, faster than I thought she would, but yeah. If you really want a snake that's not defensive and not striky as they get older, you want, it's kind of hard to say it, but you want to give them the chance to get familiar with you instead of you forcing yourself on them. That's the way I've been with all my snakes, is I let them make that choice. Because, you know, if you look at it from a snake's point of view, a predator is something that's always after them and grabbing at them, and, you know, instincts taught them that much. And I don't see why they would see a human being as any different than any other predator. So that's why I allow them the time to make the choice whether or not they want to be handled by me. You got all your papers cleaned out of the corner. I use papers in all my enclosures. Oh yeah, she's looking at her branch. She'll be back up behind her enclosure, but I keep it in here when she's not out on it. And that way she knows what it is. She associates it with coming out and having some freedom. But yeah, that's Jade's new home.